statement and open up for questions. Coach, when you're ready.
Yeah, so far that's 10. This far along into the season, we're certainly glad to be sitting where we are. I thought we were okay tonight, quite honestly. Part of that's on them. They play really hard, and they're physical, and we didn't really respond to that well from the beginning, but regrouped. Good to see us play in some full court pressure. We needed to see that. We need our guys to kind of finish getting through exams so that we can move on. But it's a good thing that we were okay tonight, and it was so convincing. So we'll take it.
Well, another solid defensive game. You played as much zone as I've seen, and as much full court press. Was that particularly because of the scout or their personnel?
Yeah, I thought I needed to find a way to kind of get them a little bit more energy. I mean, this group gives you everything they have, and meaning my team, and they just were a bit slow tonight. I thought they were a little lethargic, not intentionally. It was just like their body was moving slower than their brains, and so it was a way to get them moving differently, actually, quite honestly. But it was also good to get reps at it. We know to win in the ACC, we're going to have to play a variety of ways, and so we wanted some live reps at doing things that we're going to need throughout the ACC season.
I think you said against UConn that maybe some of your players didn't have reps enough to play zone.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a different
Now,
field
yeah, we finally have more time. Yeah, we feel more comfortable with people that can play it. I mean, it takes a lot of energy to play in the full court for that long. So, Indya and Alyssa, who are excellent at it, it just wears them out after about 4 minutes. So it was good that we have more guys to go to.
Alyssa, you had 4 steals tonight. Part of that in that zone where you're kind of like playing that defensive back position, you come up and steal that. I mean, there's so much talk about you offensively this offseason, but how much did people kind of forget that you're like this good defender that can get so many steals like this?
Yeah, well, in order for me to get the steals, like our defense, our like full court defense is positioned where we have like one up top and then we have 2 guards right behind them, and their activity and ball pressure made those guards throw loopy passes, and so that's where I'm able to like kind of time, because I know where my spots are. They're either throwing in place A or place B, and then like once the ball's thrown in the air, and again, big credit to our front line of my teammates because they made those steals possible for me. Because if it's a direct line pass, there's no way I'm getting to those. But to Coach's point, I think the zone defense really helped spark some intensity, and it really made it tough for Greensboro to move the ball around and get some good looks.
How much does it help that you have a 10-man rotation to run a press like that all game and wear them down?
What about you, Indy?
Oh yeah, it gives especially me a break after like expending so much energy, especially when we press full court and play that zone. But it also just adds depth. Everybody doesn't need to go too many minutes that wears down on our bodies throughout the season. So that's going to keep us healthy, keep us full force against everybody. It's hard to beat.
And you talk about how you guys got into the passing lanes. That really frustrated them.
Oh yeah. That's something we worked on since the summer, just our defensive principles. We work with Walt, making sure we're in those gaps, stunting at the drives. And I think our positioning is what gets us those steals.
And for you, the shooting, it's kind of been a struggle in recent games. It was nice to jump out of that today, hit some threes and got it going.
Oh, yeah. I was working on it, so it just finally showed. Coach Banghart just been feeding me with confidence, making sure that I believe in the work that I put in, and today it was a good night. So.
It was a 15, 8, 4, and 4 steals. Do you feel like this was your best all-around game of the season so far?
It definitely doesn't feel like it, and I don't know like which parts of the game kind of cloud that for me, but I'm just happy that we got the win, and like this game was a stepping stone to help prepare us for like what's coming next in terms of Greensboro was really good at downhill attacks. We had to play really solid 1v1 defense, but make sure we were kind of in our gap. So, yeah, I would say it was a decent overall game. But again, I'm just more focused on like, did our group get better today in this game, and just kind of focused on the next one ahead because we know always the next game is the most important one.
UNCG was 9th in the country, only allowing like 50.7 points a game. How does scoring 80 points against this team after getting off to a little bit of a slow start kind of provide a testament to you guys' offensive improvement over the season?
I think it speaks to our ability to adjust in game. And so, again, like credit to coach for getting us into some zone D right away, because that changed the intensity to slow them down, and that created some offense for us. We got a lot of steals, we got out, and so yeah, it just created more offensive opportunities because we picked it up on that end. But yeah, it definitely speaks to all the work that our girls have been putting in for so long. We're hitting shots, and I don't know the stat, but I feel like we could have shot better, and I don't know exactly, but Yeah, so it was a good offensive day, and we're just going to keep growing.
I don't know if it's because of the physical game, but you got scrapes on your left.
Oh,
hand.
yeah. One time I guess I threw the ball directly out of bounds with no contact, so just add it to my turnovers. So I think that is the part that's clouding if today was considered a good performance. It's the turnovers that I'm really focusing on minimizing. So.
Courtney, big picture, best start in 3 seasons.
Yeah.
How do you feel about how everything's progressing? But obviously, it ramps up on Sunday.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, I feel like we've had a tough schedule, also, and so we feel like I know more about who we are now than I did a month ago. It's great because what's great, as someone said, you know, asked me about the ACC and what I look forward to, and my answer was quite simple. I look forward to coaching my team. You know, I really like this group of people. We're well pieced together. They're totally committed they'll be all ears and then all action and all focus in for our prep for Georgia Tech. And so it validates the work because they then can do it, right? And then on offense, they share the ball and they make the adjustments. And so, yeah, it's a good start. It's a really good start because I really like this team. And it's not me liking them because they're good people. I like them because they're good people and because they're really fun to coach. They're really trying to do what we're asking them to do.
Is there any clarity on Kayla's timeline at this point?
There really isn't. You know, she's running now, which is great, and there really isn't, to be honest.
I have to throw in a non-basketball question
Yeah,
for
of
you,
course.
League I believe there was a football coach you hired
Yeah.
today. Wondered what your reaction was.
Well, I'm from the Northeast, right? I lived in New Hampshire for 29 years, so I'm a diehard New England Patriot fan, and of course now a diehard Drake May fan. So a lot of connections to that organization, and obviously Bill had a ton of success up there, and I'm also really close to Mac. I'm really close to any coach at Carolina because they've chosen here, and that's kind of there's a mirrored path. You know, this is not an easy way to choose to make a living, right? And so there's this kindred spirit you have with those that choose to coach and they choose to do it here. And so I look forward to welcoming him and being however helpful I can and supporting his team as I did Mac's. And I know that he'll support ours, maybe not as well as Mac because it's pretty hard to do. But yeah, I wish him all the luck in the world, and we'll all, like the Carolina coaches do, we'll all be here to help however we can.
But as a Patriot fan,
Diehard.
Overjoyed.
Diehard. I can't wait to check in with my dad because he's still, he is gonna, yeah, he'll be thrilled to just know that there's more connection here. Just like we root for Drake May now, even more than we did when he was here. So yeah, I've watched a lot of Patriot games. I've spent a lot of time, reading about Belichick, and The Education of a Coach is one of my favorite books, which is about his journey. But yeah, it's good that we can now move forward. I know there's been a lot of drama and just trying to get someone hired and figure out what's best for this university, and now we can move forward.
Have you met him?
It's a good question. I think I met him at a lacrosse game. His daughter's a lacrosse coach, so I think I met him at like a Rutgers lacrosse game many years ago when I was at Princeton. But I'm getting old. It was a long time ago.
Alyssa, I know before, like 2 seasons ago, even last season, you really struggled with staying out of foul trouble. And I feel like this year, especially even tonight, only one personal foul. How have you been able to take that part out of your game and really stay on the defensive end?
Yeah, I think that comes with being a little more disciplined, and if something doesn't go my way, I'm not going to try to make up for it with more effort. I'm going to be a little smarter. And so I think that's definitely kept the fouls down. However, last game I did foul out. And so that is the first foul out of the season.
Indy took some of your fouls today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. But yeah, so I'm just, we're progressing.
Blanca and Sierra both played a lot of minutes, kind of filling in at the big spot. How do you think they did filling in for Maria and working with that lineup in a 3-2 offenses or 3-2 defenses?
Yeah, those two kids are freshmen, right? And they don't play like it. I mean, these guys, you probably don't remember your freshman year. You might, right? It was a long time ago for you. But it's hard to come in and play a freshman, especially as a big kid, because you've been bigger than everybody else. So you haven't had to rely on angles and speed and retention and the things that you have to do at this level. These guys are great celebrators of them and urge them along. And, and they're learning on a really good team. So that's hard too, right? Because these guys' standard with both their actions and their words are really high. So I love their mindset. They're totally committed to whatever they can do to help, and they are making progress and getting better. And so they are 12 minutes and 15 minutes better than they were before the game. That's what I would say.
Definitely.
I don't know how much you've dug into it, but can you speak specifically about what the challenges Georgia Tech will give you on Sunday?
Yeah, Georgia Tech's a really, really good team, well coached. Nell's an excellent coach who's done this for a long time. She's got excellent guard play. They're downhill attackers. They've got, they're a lot like us, actually. They've got 8 guys that score 6 points or more. They have a very high assist to turnover ratio. They have a lot of assists per game. So they share the ball. They're by committee. They rebound. They're excellent on the glass as well. So it's just a really good team. When you get this far into the season, if you're ranked, you've got a lot of proven success. So we know it'll be a great challenge. There's more. I like this time of year because you're more familiar. So I don't have to start when you look at Greensboro, you literally start over and you're like, okay, I got to wrap my arms around who they are. A pretty good sense of who Georgia Tech is. I've obviously watched them a bunch already, but they've got really good players and they play together. They're definitely a team. They're not a group of islands out there. They're going to try to beat you together.
Great, thanks everyone.
Yep.
Thank you.